test, test. Hey, hey, hey. Welcome to day 2. That's called pause for applause. It's an old speaking trick. So, quick little bit of housekeeping before the day starts today. I need to know who is going to be on the bus that's going to Cozumel or going to Coconuts. Not right now. We're going to have these stickers, and you're going to have that sticker in your hand to get on the bus. Then you peel it off and put it on, and that's how you'll be able to get your drinks at the bar. We don't want to go the tech way where I wrote on everybody's hand last night. I don't know. The bus holds a certain number. If we have any extras, we're going to set up cabs. That's why it's very important. Now, when we go over to Costalks or go over to Coconuts, it's already starting. The bus is going to leave at 6 o'clock promptly. You don't want to get left over there, so make sure you get back on the bus. And she's not here. So everybody try to buy Min a blue margarita. If we get 2 of them in her, we'll carry her on the bus, I'm sure. Last night's party was great. I hope everybody had a good time. Mr. Stefan, can you stand up for us?
Thanks again for the opportunity to support this great event.
Thank you, sir. Well, he brought a tremendous group over from Germany, and they're great guys and great ladies. We were having a lot of fun with them, and if I'd have told my father, who fought in World War II, we were getting free beer from the Germans someday, he would have fought harder. Today, the bus trip and the first few rounds of drinks are on the Skills family. Melody Schumann Johnson, she's sponsoring that whole thing. Can't thank her enough. If I can get 3 or 4 more sponsors, we'll make this thing 4 days long next year and just drink free for the whole thing. So we got the bus, we've got the parties. The most important thing we need now is somebody to light this place up. I appreciate y'all getting here on time, and I'd like to introduce, for my money, probably the smartest guy I know in martial arts. He's helped so many people. And some of those people are my people, so I see how hard he works. I see what a giver he is, and I see how well his systems work. And more importantly, he took over the MC job that I did so poorly a couple years ago. He kept us on time, and hopefully he'll do that today for us again. I'd like to introduce my good friend, Dwayne Spires.
All right, good morning, everybody. How are you guys doing today? Okay, so I want to welcome everybody here. You know, you guys woke up, you got your food, you got here early, you're action takers. Give yourselves a round of applause for being here today. Thanks to everybody that's tuning in live. By a quick show of hands, how many of you would consider yourselves to be adventurous? How many of you would consider yourselves to be coachable? Okay, great. Then you're in the right room. So my name is Dwayne Spires. I'm with the Martial Arts Success Team. We work with school owners across North America, Canada, as well as in Australia now. We're looking forward to connecting with you guys in Germany. We're really pumped about that as well. And we've had the opportunity to help over 300 schools go to the next level with summer camps and with after-school programs. So if you're interested in any of those, I'll be happy to chat with you. In fact, I have an awesome free group right here. If you go to Facebook and you type in Martial Arts Success Team, that's the cover page. That's what you want to look for. Join it. We've got all kinds of cool stuff on there, lots of free content, and here we go. Now, before we jump into today's topic, I want you guys to grab a piece of paper so that you can take some notes, and on that sheet of paper, I want you to draw a square. Keep it simple. Just draw a square. Now, once you've drawn that square, make sure that it's big enough where you can write a few words in it. A couple inches by a couple inches. And I want you guys to tell me the title. What's your title in your school? Like, what do you go by? How do you introduce yourself? Write the title at the top. Who are you? Okay. Now, under that, I want you to write the word goals. And under the word goals, I want you to write the word challenges. Awesome. How many of you were able to complete that? Great job, family. Now, here's the plan. What you just drew, we're going to consider this to be your comfort zone. All of your dreams, all of your goals, all of your problems, all of your challenges live inside of that box. And what I'm going to share with you today is a way to shift your perspective to see things just a little bit differently. Because we know that as soon as our mindset shifts, our actions change. When our actions change, what kind of results do we get? The same, or do we get different? We get different results, and that's what we're here to do. Now, I'm not going to be somebody that comes up here on the microphone to share theory. I'm not going to share these broad ideas and concepts. Today, I am going to give you a set of tangible skills that you can literally go back to your school as soon as you guys get back from Cozumel. You can start implementing them right away. You can use this for yourself. You can use this for your directors, your managers, your top executive team, and you're going to see growth. I guarantee it. Some of you that are in this audience right now and watching from home, if you have multiple schools, a lot of the stuff that I'm going to share with you today will resonate very well. But there's some of you that are in the audience where this message is actually going to change your life. And the reason why I say that is because many of the martial arts school owners in our industry are single owner operators. And that's fantastic. You guys went for your dreams. You stepped up, you opened up a school, and that is awesome. But one thing that we've learned in the last 5 years of coaching schools, and it's been over 300 schools that we've worked with, martial arts school owners have one thing very similar in common. They crave what? Not blue margaritas. What do they crave? What do you think? Not necessarily attention. Not necessarily growth. Not necessarily recognition. Control. They love to teach their classes and talk about how hard they're working. They love to secretly clean the mats, and they look at their mats and go, oh, I did a good job. Some of them like to clean toilets too. Some of them like to answer their own phones. Some of them try to juggle everything. Now, Andrew, you got up here yesterday and you were holding all the beach balls. You guys remember that? If you go and you try to add more and more responsibilities to your plate as an owner, something is going to fall through the cracks. So today we're going to dive deep. We're going to look at how to become not the title that you put on your comfort zone, which, by the way, what'd you guys write down? Quick show of hands. What'd you write down? Visionary. What else? Yeah.
In the school or what I think of myself?
Sure. Either way.
In school, Professor Dan.
Professor Dan. What else? What'd you write? Shihan. Anyone else? One more. Professor. So what I want you to do, look at your box, put a dot or a circle on the outside of it. That's where we are going to be by the end of this presentation. We are going to step outside of our comfort zone, and above that circle, I want you to write CEO. I want you guys to see yourselves as a CEO, not just a black belt, not just a professor, not just a master or grandmaster, as a CEO of a company. So here we go. Can we pass those forms out? Got it. 3 guys are going to pass them out real quick. Thank you very much. And if I could have one as well. Awesome. Thank you. And for those of you that are tuning in and watching this live, if you guys go onto Facebook and you send us a message, you can go to Dwayne Spire, send me a message. I'll make sure that you guys get this document. I'll send you a PDF. This is literally usable in your school right now. So I'll give it a second, wait till everybody passes it out. By show of hands, how many enjoy going on vacation? How many enjoy being able to spend time with your families, with your kids, taking them to their games, watching them train? How many of you enjoy being able to give bedtime stories to the kids at night? Professor Belisa was talking about that. So one of the things that's important for us is that when we work with you guys as school owners, we want you to have freedom. And one of the mistakes that we made as a business coach years back was we assumed that as your business grew and as you started hiring more people and training them, that you would just naturally start delegating more stuff. But that wasn't always the case. So then we had this giant group of business owners, these school owners who were ready to expand, who were growing their summer camps, adding 30, 40, 50 kids, sometimes adding 100 kids, starting after school programs and crushing it. But then all of a sudden, when they got to that level, they're like, oh my gosh, we feel overwhelmed. So then we were like, well, wait a minute, we need to start teaching delegation and CEO strategies from day one, not saving them until you've grown to the next level, but starting now so that you're prepared, that you have the foundation to grow to the next level. Because here's the problem. School owners, the moment that you start to associate success with more work, guess what you start doing to your success? You sabotage it. You stop following up with leads, you stop hosting your staff trainings, you're sleeping in, you start to feel overwhelmed, and you start to avoid success because you're relating it to more work. And you're already busy. So then it makes success impossible. But with this system, it's going to shift the way that you look at it. So let's take a look at page 1. Many school owners in the martial arts industry see themselves as black belts who own a school instead of a CEO business owner who has earned a black belt. There's a huge distinction between the two examples. The school owners who operate their school as a business and spend their time doing CEO level tasks each day will experience, this is the best part, you guys will experience rapid growth, you will work less hours, and you will have more what? Freedom. Absolutely. Many school owners who operate from a self-employed mindset unfortunately find themselves stressed, lacking financially, and after years of struggling, they become burnt out. And that's the worst thing that could ever happen. You guys have put your heart and soul, your tears, your money, invested all this time to grow your school, and then you're like, I just can't teach all these classes anymore. So it's a sad thing to experience because all school owners have the ability to change so many lives. So let's assume that your martial arts classes are awesome, right? You guys have high quality classes. Your school really only needs 3 simple things to be financially successful. New leads and enrollments, right? So we have to have people coming in the door, right? A strong team, and solid retention. I always kind of giggle and laugh when I see people posting these insane results online. I've enrolled 100 people this month. Okay. Let's assume that that's true. You enrolled 100 people this month. How many did you lose? How many did you keep? How many retained for long term? You know, if you were enrolling 100 kids a month, you would have thousands of students. But a lot of these people that make those big claims about all these trials and all these leads, they either have poor conversion rates or they have horrible retention rates. They're just focused on sales and they're not necessarily focused on retention. So we need to close that back door. So let's talk about the difference between being a CEO and the self-employed black belt mentality that so many people in this industry have. So here's how it's different. The CEO delegates his or her workload. They hire a strong team to teach classes and operate the business. They invest in systems, and they scale to serve more customers and change more lives. The CEO gets to choose which classes to teach on his or her schedule. Income is monitored, it's predictable, and the income grows. The CEO saves and invests, and that money gives them the pleasure of experiencing freedom. So they get time freedom, and you guys get financial freedom. Now here's the problem. The self-employed person, the person that wants to teach every class and holds on and wants to control everything, they remain in one location. They teach all the classes. They clean the dojo every day. They attempt to do marketing. Just because you're great at teaching martial arts does not mean you're going to be great at marketing. Just because you are an amazing master and you teach martial arts so well does not mean you're going to be this sales guru. It's okay to let other people step up if they are better than that than you are. So they attempt to sell memberships, they place orders, they attend some learning events, and they always feel like they're playing catch up. They always feel overwhelmed. They don't invest in new systems, and then they ultimately give up. Their income's not monitored, stress increases, and they have very little to no savings. Are you going to be able to teach an awesome class if in the back of your mind you're worried about how you're going to pay rent? Absolutely not. You want to be there focused on the kids being able to change their lives, right, and go to the next level. So you need to be able to take care of yourself first. So for you to achieve a high level of financial success in your school and in your life, you must focus only on the activities that produce the most income, right, the most income, while leveraging your time through delegation to your team members. All right, so let's flip over to the next page. This is where it gets exciting. And these are things that you can start to use in your life right now. I want you to take out a pen or a pencil. I want you to look at the top column on your left. And again, people that are tuning in live, send me a message on Facebook. I'll hook you up with this PDF so that you guys can have it. So we have this categorized in $10, $100, $1,000, and $10,000 activities. I want you to take a pen and check off every single box that you guys know that you do. So on the $10 activities, cleaning the school, running errands, washing your after-school vans or buses, answering your own phones, returning emails, making copies, updating your website, social media posts, ordering products, creating flyers or documents. The list can go on for these $10 an hour activities. So if you're the person that's doing that, I'll hire you for $11 an hour. Come on over. I'll hire all of you for $11 an hour right now. You don't even need to interview. You're hired on the spot. Now let's move on to the $100 an hour activities. And this is where we start to get pushback because some of you are sitting here going, well, it's really important for me to be the one to do these. Here we go. Let's play this game. Hosting staff trainings. You don't need to be the person hosting your own staff trainings as you level up. Can you train somebody to take that over? You absolutely can. You don't have to do it tomorrow, but you can start building the foundations and the systems to make that happen. Intro and private lessons. Teaching martial arts classes. Event planning. Hiring. Interviewing. Facility tours. Sales calls. Ads, promos on social media. Belt testings. Buying new vans and buses. Yeah, sure, $100 an hour. No big deal. If you guys want to do that for me, I'll give you $101 an hour. You're hired. Now let's move on to the $1,000 an hour activities. This is where I want you guys to start focusing your attention and delegating everything else. Training your directors. You want to be able to train the people who are training your staff. Start focusing on them. Training your sales team. Some of you that are single owner operators, you're like, oh my gosh, I could never imagine what it would be like to have somebody doing the selling for me. Let me tell you what, the moment that that happens, how many of you have experienced that? Your team will sign up people even when you're not there. That is awesome, yeah? Training senior martial art instructors. Again, these are the people, the high-ranking students that are training the other coaches and instructors. Creating marketing campaigns. Studying, so we give this to our masked members, studying masked content. Posting questions. So if you belong to different groups or if you guys have coaches, posting questions and getting help, being coachable. Like I asked all of you at the very beginning of this presentation, how many of you are coachable? Everybody's hands went up. Be coachable, seek help, right? Anything that we've failed on, we can help you not fail on the same thing. We've learned our lessons. Okay, so now let's go to the $10,000 an hour activities. This is where it gets exciting. This is where if you focus your time, you'll look back 3 months, 6 months from now, you're going to walk into your schools and imagine what it's going to be like to see everybody, all these happy, smiling kids, all these amazing instructors. Parents are coming up to you saying how great you are, how great your business is, because you focused on the stuff that matters. Meeting with school principals. Meeting with PTA members. Building trust and rapport with those people. Do you realize if you guys connect with your local schools' PTAs, one of the systems that we teach in MAST is we have you guys connect with the PTA president. You guys host a parents' night out. All the kids that come in, they pay $10, $15. You donate that money back to the schools, 100% of it. You just looked like a rock star in front of all those PTA presidents. The principal's gonna love you. You donated money. It's great social proof. And guess what you guys just received in return? Tons of leads. Tons of leads who've been in your school, who had a blast for 4 hours during your parents' night out. The parents shook your hands. The parents saw your facility. Now they have trust and rapport with you, and you will, every single time, get signups. Every time, guaranteed. And you look like a rock star because you donated money. If you go to this group, Martial Arts Success Team, you look at the pictures, you will literally see people. Doug, for example, Dan Hart, you guys have all donated. You come in with these giant promo checks that you can get on Amazon.com, like $30. You go in, you present it to the PTA and the principal, you take pictures with them. That is social credibility. That builds trust with parents in your community as well. Media interviews, that's another $10,000 an hour activity. High-level peer interaction. What you guys are doing right now, and after this event, when we go to Coconuts, that's a $10,000 an hour activity. You can justify that if your spouse is back home and he or she is like, what are you doing drinking at Coconuts? Babe, it's a $10,000 an hour activity. It's all good.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah, it is.
I'm going to be rich.
So think about it. How do we justify it as being $10,000? It's easy. one kid, if you do martial arts, after school programs and summer camps, one kid that signs up in that, $5,000, $6,000, $7,000 a year. One good idea can get you dozens of awesome kids. That's how we can justify this. Buying or renting new locations, doing coaching calls if you have a coach, going to live events. These are all things that will get you to the next level. Now, here's the thing I want you guys to consider. What are the areas that you are committed to, these high value activities, and what are the areas where you can begin to delegate more effectively? So take a look at that list and start circling all of those things that you can start to delegate. And I challenge you, once you get back to your school in a couple days, start delegating as much as possible. Now here's the problem. Why do you think people are afraid to delegate? Control, and they don't want things to go wrong. They're so afraid of these what ifs. Okay, well, how do you fix that? How do you have more confidence with your team? You train them. The more that you train your team, and this has been a common theme of all of these presentations, not only yesterday, but today as well, staff training, developing your team. Because the more that happens, the more comfortable you're going to feel, the more excited you're going to feel. In a second, I'm going to have Super Dan come up here and share a quick story. And he's going to share what he's done since last year, which is really exciting. So this exercise is going to help you discover the areas in your business that need more focus, right? So when a CEO does activities that are less than $1,000 an hour, their business or school tends to plateau or even get smaller in many cases as new technology and new consumer buying patterns are created. So if you guys think you're just going to coast through and do the same thing that worked 5 years ago, you're going to be shocked when some younger school owner comes up who's more in touch with technology and crushes you, right? You have to be able to stay on top of these trends and this growth. So important. Always be innovating. Now, here's another thing. Another area that CEOs excel in is delegation and outsourcing in their personal lives. So I want you to look at the list below. Check the boxes of things that you do already. Do you delegate your house cleaning, washing vehicles? Do you delegate yard work, pool care, paying bills, grocery shopping? Review this list, because if you guys go home and you're spending your free time doing these things, you're losing money. So what I can tell you is once you start shifting your mindset and looking at valuing your time so much more effectively, and you start doing these $1,000 and $10,000 activities on this list, you could add more of your own. You're going to start to see your bank account go to the next level. You're going to start to see more time in your schedule. Now, by a show of hands real quick, how many of you teach, would you say, or work in your business a full work week, at least 40 hours a week, by a show of hands? Does anybody work more than that? 50, 60 hours? Okay. So, and there's nothing wrong with it. We all have to know where we are today to know where we need to be going next, right? So it's okay to acknowledge that. Ideally, how many hours do you want to be there? How much more free time would you like to get back? And when we ask our coaching members these questions, we're like, how much time do you want back in your schedule? Some people are like, oh, I would love just to teach a few advanced classes, go home and enjoy the family. That's what they say. But then there's some people who are so afraid to let go of control. It's like they need to be needed. They can't imagine letting go and letting the team take over. And even when they let the team take over, they're over there micromanaging and looking at everything and like, okay, well, what's going on over here? And they're like listening into sales calls. You don't have to do that with the right systems. You can delegate it and they will grow without you. Has anybody had a new enrollment in the last 2 days? The last 2 days, literally, since you've been here in Cozumel, Mexico, by a show of hands. Please give yourselves a round of applause for that. Great job. So you've either delegated through technology, so somebody enrolled online, or you've delegated through having an amazing team that can close sales and change more lives. So good job. So then flip to the third page. We have to get to the point where it's like, okay, well, how do we delegate? So when you understand that the only way to scale your business is to have an incredible team of rock stars, you begin to see the true value of the skill set known as delegation. Many business owners think that delegation is just something to do. You basically tell someone the task, and then magically they perform it, They do it perfectly the first time, they do it on time, and there's never any issues. It's magic, right? Wrong. Delegation is not that simple. But here's the best part. There is a system to it that gets you predictable results. This is where it gets awesome. So the truth is that much like martial arts training, the skill of delegation is something that is learned and you can develop it. You can continue to get better at it. You will have the opportunity to practice this in the exercise below. Now this process is simple, but you can quickly increase your skills with these steps. So here's step one, educate. You have to give clear instructions and expectations and a deadline. One of the mistakes that a lot of school owners make is they fail to give a deadline. They're like, hey, I need you to follow up with these leads. You know, maybe you go to a school event or you set up a booth or a table, you get 50 or 60 leads. I need you to follow up with them. But they don't say when the deadline is. I need you to get in touch with all of these people by the end of this week. Now, one of the things that is a really powerful question that you can start to ask, and I want you to focus on this one, it's in bold. When you delegate something to somebody, you want to ask them, is there anything that will prevent you from accomplishing this goal? Because one thing that I hate is excuses. You either get a result or you get a reason. I want results. I don't want reasons or excuses. So I'm going to, on the front end, I'm going to say, hey, is there anything that's going to prevent you from following up with these leads in the next, 3 or 4 days? And they're going to go, no, sir. Okay, great. Awesome. Now here's the next step. Number 2, everybody say, check in. If you don't check in, what happens? They take their time. They don't stay on time. They might go the wrong direction. And then you find out at the deadline that they didn't do it correctly. So it's important to check in. So you want to check in with them at least halfway through on the agreed upon time. Are they on track? Do they need your help or support? And is it the quality that you expect? So if you skip the check-in process, who knows what you're going to get at the end of the week? Now, step 3, acknowledge. Everybody say, inspect what you expect. Guys, this one is key. You have to inspect what you expect from your team. And another very powerful concept that I want to share with you, and this goes in any business, no matter what you own. Everybody say, silence is acceptance. Silence is acceptance. If you have a staff member that's doing something wrong or incorrect or not up to your standards, and you look and you go, maybe they'll figure it out on their own. I'm not going to say anything. Or maybe you feel uncomfortable. Maybe you don't know how to approach them in a way where, you're kind of nervous. Like, well, if I bring it up to them that they're doing it incorrectly, maybe they're going to quit. Or maybe they're not going to like me. We all have the fear of rejection built into us. We want to be part of the tribe. We want to be part of the family. We don't want to be rejected. So a lot of times school owners, they avoid having that conversation. And I'm going to share with you this. The moment that it happens, just go up to them and say, hey, real quick, 1% coaching improvement. This is something that's going to help you. When you frame it as just a quick 1% coaching improvement, now you're on their team. It's not boss versus employee or master instructor versus junior. We're on the same team. We're working for the same goals. We want to change more lives. So walk up and go, hey, Johnny, just real quick, 1% improvement. You have a second? Sure. Use it as an opportunity to mentor that team member and then watch what happens. Their guard drops. They're not defensive. It's just a 1% improvement. If you don't frame it that way, how might Johnny actually take it if I come to him and go, you're doing it wrong? He's going to take it personally. He might feel rejected. And then all of a sudden you've got drama and passive aggressiveness, and now he's showing up late, and he doesn't care, and he forgets his belt. He shows up and he's like growing out his facial hair. It just gets weird. All right. So acknowledging is key to this because you want to condition your team. You want them to continue to want to serve you at a high level. And again, this is where school owners mess this whole thing up. So if Johnny crushes it, and let's say that, I used this example at our last event, painting a wall. It's like, hey, we need these walls painted, and he does a killer job. He crushes it. The wall looks perfect. Well, if I walk up to him and I say, hey, man, great job, he'll feel good. He'll feel acknowledged, right? He'll be like, oh, cool, thanks. But that's not enough. It's not enough to lock in that constant awesome behavior. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use this as an opportunity. I'm going to take a picture of that wall with him holding a paintbrush with his thumbs up, big smile, and I'm going to say, Coach Johnny just painted this awesome wall. It's perfect. Thank you, sir. I'm going to acknowledge him on social media. I'm also going to acknowledge him, and this is a key. You can do this in so many ways. You can even do this with your spouse. Acknowledging them in front of other people, right? So I've got Chris Brickman right here. He's our media director for Martial Arts Success Team and Success Team Coaching. This man crushes it, absolutely crushes it. He's the one doing all the pictures, and wait until you see the killer video that we produce of all the highlights. All of you guys are going to be in it, so stay tuned for that. So if we can give him a hand, you rock, sir. Rock star. We only hire the best. I just illustrated acknowledgement right now. Was I being fake? Heck no. I authentically believe everything that I just said about Chris. This guy's a rock star. So it's only fake if you're lying. If you truly know that you've hired awesome people, let the world know about your awesome people. You don't need to be the man. You don't need to be the woman. You don't need to be, I am the master of the whole school. I've got to do everything. Because that just leaves you with one school and a little bank account. Stop that stuff. You guys, you're changing so many lives. You deserve to have your life at the highest level too. Who was it that said, I think it was Melody, why not me? Who said why not me in the presentation? Was it Melody? Yeah. She was sharing the story about, the guy that saw the fancy cars. Why not you? Why can't you retire being millionaires with tons of cash and opportunities? Of course you can. All right, so here's what I want you to consider. Doing this with your spare time, you're going to have so much time to focus on things you love. So look at the last bottom checklist here. How many of you would like to spend more time with your kids? I know I would, absolutely. What about taking care of your aging parents? If you're young enough, what about supporting your aging grandparents? What about exercising more? Traveling. Who would like to travel more? Right? We all would. Doing more martial arts training. Volunteering and giving back. Maintaining healthy relationships. One thing that I do personally, and I want to share this with you, I have 3 kids. Their current ages are 15, 4.5, 1.5. I've got my hands filled, and we own multiple businesses, and we have tons of coaching members. We schedule everything. So it's one thing to commit to delegation, but it's another thing. Take out your phone, and anything that you put in your calendar becomes sacred. It becomes inviolate. You do not miss those appointments. I schedule date nights. I schedule times where I take my middle daughter, Carson, to the park. Even if it's for 30 minutes, I schedule it in, and I am there every single time. So when you have integrity with your calendar, and you do what you say you're going to do, it becomes as simple as, I'm going to put it on my calendar, and it's going to get done. And that's how it works. So imagine how much power you will have by being able just to simply say, this is what I'm going to do, and then it gets done. And delegating everything else that you either don't want to do, that you're not good at doing, or that you just want to empower your team to take off your plate. You can seriously be the school owner who only works a few hours a day. And eventually, you'll be the school owner who only works a few hours a week. And you'll be growing faster than ever. So, Super Dan, can you come up here for a second, sir? Let's give Super Dan a hand, please. I only have about 2 or 3 minutes left, so we'll wrap it up with this. So, last year, at Coconuts, by the way, and how much, just to reiterate, so we all have our story straight, how much are we making an hour at Coconuts? $10,000. So we were having a conversation at the table. I was sitting there, Doug Rankin was to my left, and Super Dan, you were to my right. And we were talking about opening multiple locations, and Corey Cochran was there. He's with the ATA. He's not here today, but I want to shout out to Corey if you're watching this, and his wife, Elisha Cochran. And we were talking about opening new schools. And one of the things that holds school owners back from expansion is this mindset that things have to be what? Perfect. Everybody wants it perfect because that's the energy and the effort that you all give to everything you do. You want it to be perfect, and good for you. But here's the thing. You can have one school that's almost at 100%, 100% perfect. Everything's pristine, it's great, the classes are awesome, parents love you, 5-star reviews, all of that. But then when you open a second school or a third school, Grandmaster Clark, how many schools do you have, sir? 21 schools. It's not realistic to expect and assume, and listen to my words, expect and assume that every one of those locations will be at 100%. But what if they're at 90% awesome? What if each one of them are at 90% awesome? Are you guys going to be able to change a lot of lives? Are you going to be able to make an incredible amount of money? Multiple 7 figures? But it all starts with letting go and becoming the CEO. So I want him to share what he told me before I jumped on stage here. All right, let's give it up for Super Dan.
Well, the first thing I'll make a clarification on is that I was lurking in on the conversation. Actually, Dwayne was talking with Doug. I was not participating except for with my ears. And the moment, and Doug was expressing some concerns about, opening up a second location, living up to what he does in his location. And so Dwayne exactly, he said that, well, what do you think would be better? One location with 100% awesome instructors, or 5 locations with 90% awesome instructors? And I stopped listening at that point because my head started spinning. I kept a tight grip on every single class. Why? Because I'm Super Dan, of course. I'm an awesome instructor, I've got tremendous knowledge, etc. But my team is good. But I never let go. Just that one moment, all of a sudden it made total sense. It became okay for my team to run my classes. And what was the result? Dwayne was asking me, well, let's see. There's a week away in Cozumel instead of 2 days. There's 2 weeks in Australia. And then I blew his hat off with 1 month in Europe. I walked off. My team handled it. I came back. I had parents. I had everybody. Oh, Mighty Mason, man, he's doing really great. God, I love watching Miss Josie on the floor. And I'm sitting there smiling, yeah, and inside I'm going, holy smokes, I should have done this a whole lot sooner. And that was sitting in one comment that I was sitting and listening on that Dwayne had made to Doug that impacted, my life. My wife and I, she's always wanted to travel. Hey, we're traveling now. Why? My team. One comment. That's what I got to say. Thank you very much. Publicly. I acknowledged him privately, and he wanted to come up and tell the story, and he's talking about public acknowledgement. Well, this is very much public acknowledgement because it's exactly what he said, and boom, take it and run with it.
Thank you. So again, to reiterate, how much is it worth at Coconuts? $10,000 an hour. Guys, there's so much valuable information and knowledge. And look, the truth is, it's cool being a speaker, but guys, every single person in this seat, every person in this entire room has something to share, a way to take your life to the next level, to take your business to the next level. One small conversation can change it all. So guys, I invite you to stay in touch. We're going to be happy to do some awesome free strategy calls. If you guys want to jump on the line with me or my wife Lauren or Julie, contact me. You can reach out on Facebook, or if you want today, if you want to scribble your email address and your phone number and name, just hand me a little, tear off the paper and just hook me up, and we'll reach out to you next week. Other than that, it has been a pleasure to share this with you. I want you guys to really start thinking at ways that you can make your life easier so that you can continue to grow and change more lives. All right, thanks for being here with me, guys. I appreciate it.
So that's why I like to have Dwayne up first on the next morning. Get everybody woke up and going. Anybody get any value out of that? Absolutely. The interesting thing is, I don't know what percentage, I don't even know how many speakers we have, but the majority of them could probably all do a full day just themselves on training. And I'm just so thankful that these guys come down and share and go to Coconuts and share at $10,000. I feel a lot better about going out there now. I've made a lot of money, evidently. So.